Hello, Vanessa. Nice to meet you in cyberspace. This will be some video feedback for your milestone 1. I'll also cover the wireframes of last week, and I'll end with the journal entry which describes your target audience. Your wireframes are very nicely done, very clear, and thank you for taking the effort to typeset them essentially. I see that you're anticipating a footer at the bottom of the page. That's good. Not required, but certainly a legitimate part of every web page. You might consider putting the social media, contact information, and also revision dates. I see you've got that there. So looks like you are well aware of that. In general, I like the sketches where the navigation is in a fixed place at the top of the page. I think that's, dull or not, that is where the eye falls. Upper left is typically where the eye falls first. And I think to have a logo there is good, rather than have a logo on top of the navigation, which will then shift the entire contents of the page downward and require some scrolling. So see what you can do to avoid a lot of scrolling, at least on the home page. And I think using, depending on your client, using fewer images, larger, perhaps bleeding them left and right if you can, would be better than many little images or thumbnails. Now, if your restaurant is family-oriented and you want to focus on the menu, then maybe that's an appropriate place to have many images of food. But in general, good job of wireframes. This could also work too, where the logo is in the middle and splits the navigation. Vanessa, it's fine that you use the 000 web host rather than GeoCities. Just so long as you don't feel like you have to do it twice, and that's fine. I see that you've met the requirements of the rubric here, which were to format a head and also to mount it on your web server, which in this case is the web hosting app. I'm viewing your file in Safari for the Macintosh, and it has a neat little feature under developer mode, which is at the top here. Let's open that up, and it's view or show page source. It gives me a split screen where I can see your code and live preview your page. So it's really nice. I can see that you're using the Gaudi, which is one of the corporate typeface. Really great. Let's see how you call for that. You already have an external style sheet, and so when I go to that, that's fine. Just be aware of the other two steps that preceded external style sheets. The first being inline styling, the least preferable kind of styling and the hardest to override. Embedded style sheets, which would be this week, and then finally ending with external cascading style sheets, as you have here. Nothing wrong with that, but just be aware of the other two ways of formatting type. The rubric doesn't say anything specifically about external style sheets. All it says is that style has been added to the heading using the client's color palette, and you've done that. Now, the second rubric heading about uploading does mention GeoCities, but some of you have had real difficulties with it, and so another web hosting app was appropriate. Vanessa, I'm just a tad concerned because I don't see a coded sitemap. I'm going back to your your first submission. I see what could be the beginnings of a coded sitemap. I guess what I want to see are dummy URLs for each of these links. So it's there. It's almost there. Just needs a little bit of improvement. Your visual sitemap, which I see here, is great. I mean, it's really thorough. I understand where you're coming from. You have these two folders, one where you'll keep images, one where you'll have documents. In images folders, it contributes to each of these pages. Think about it as layers too. The index, the home page, is at the domain, the root directory level. Then there are these secondary level pages, or child pages. And then under some categories, you have tertiary or third level pages, menu and so forth. Moving forward, you might want to simplify it because this is a lot, to code in the next 3 weeks or whatever it is now. And so 4 weeks. I want you to make it manageable. So you probably only need the secondary level to dummy pages for. Now this is good. It looks like you've been able to use CyberDuck to view the contents of your 000 web host. And I see that you've got the requisite folders and files set up. I'm assuming that within images, that's where you're going to put your image files and link them back onto their respective pages. So good going, good evidence of file management. Vanessa, your journal entry was, just that, a journal entry. It was short, but you did address each of the rubric or the discussion prompts. I would just ask you to give a little consideration to the new technological tools for researching. And they include things, not just SurveyMonkey, but things like Google Analytics. You've got some of them here. Oh, you did mention Marketer's Almanac. Oh, so never mind. These are good suggestions. And also, there's nothing probably better than doing a foot search. Just getting on foot, seeing what the area competitors are offering. Good job. I look forward to seeing your website develop. I think your next hurdle is going to be developing an unordered list that becomes your navigation scheme.